Let's get out once again to our Western Exterminator hotline. We kick off the 5 o'clock hour. Head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, Rocky Long, joining us on the Mighty 1090. Coach Long, great to have you. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Coach. How about you and BR?
We're doing fine, Coach.
Doing well. What are you doing these days right now? You guys just kind of going over game plans for the fall?
Well, yeah, we're breaking down film now. Most of the coaches are still out on the road. We can evaluate through the month of May, so they're on the road basically recruiting, and the coaches that can't be out, we can only have 7 out at a time. We got all kinds of NCAA rules they're hard to keep track of, but the rest of us are breaking down film of our first 2 opponents.
Well, I'm pretty sure that it doesn't violate any NCAA rule. Just to ask you about your experience with Brian Urlacher. I mean, he's retiring now, and that, I don't know, did it surprise you, Coach, or is that something that you feel like he's really ready for?
No, it surprised me because I know he loves to play so much that I know he wanted to play, and he was hunting around for a place to play, and maybe the right place didn't come or the price tag wasn't quite right. But I think I've read everything he's saying. I think he has it straight in his mind, and he's saying all the right stuff, so maybe it is time for him to retire.
Hey, Coach Long, what was your first meeting of Brian Urlacher? Do you remember?
Well, it wasn't anything special because we had a team meeting, and he had been a backup linebacker. My meeting with him after the first week of spring practice was a lot different. We had him out there, and he was so obviously the best player on the field that my first real meeting with him was I brought him in and told him that we were going to change our defense and put him at basically free safety or middle linebacker at 10 yards deep, and he kind of looked at me like I was crazy. And then he fit right where we thought he would, and we moved everybody around to accommodate him, and he led the nation in tackles for 2 straight years.
He was an amazing football player, Coach. And, I mean, is it a shock that he was able to move closer to the line of scrimmage in the pros and have the kind of career that he did?
Well, no, it wasn't a shock when they finally moved him to middle linebacker. Mm-hmm. I can remember when he was a first-round draft choice, and I got calls from their linebacker coach and everything else because they made him a Sam linebacker, and he was on the line of scrimmage over a tight end. And they were all disappointed, and they didn't think they thought they had wasted their draft choice and this and that. And then, as it would be, the middle linebacker got hurt. They moved him to middle linebacker. He was Rookie of the Year.
So you had him his junior and senior year, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know, Rocky, how heavily or not heavily recruited he was?
He wasn't recruited by anybody, really. I mean, New Mexico recruited him, and once New Mexico State found out, they offered him. But I got a good story. Spike Dykes was the head coach at Texas Tech, and he was asking about Urlacher before the game, and I said, well, he's from Lovington, New Mexico, which is actually closer to Lubbock, Texas than it is to Albuquerque, and he says, really? He said, I'm going to find out who's got that area and fire that guy that didn't recruit him.
That's great. He brings up Spike Dykes, and I start chuckling because I was at the press conference when Spike Dykes got the head job. David McWilliam was at Tech for 1 year and then ended up taking the University of Texas job, and I was coaching baseball at Texas Tech, and I was at Spike's press conference. What a great guy, and a lot of guys come over that border from New Mexico to Texas Tech over the years. How did it go about that he became a guy that became a wide receiver, kick returner, and a punt returner?
Well, he was obviously the best athlete on our team and something special. And, I'm not real smart, but I know he ought to be out there as much as possible. So we had an Urlacher rule. We had a 100-play Urlacher rule that he was on every special team, ran down on kickoffs, ran down on punts, returned kickoffs, and played wide receiver if we got inside the 10 to throw a fade route to him. But a coach was responsible like a pitch count. Once he got to 100 plays, the press boxes said he's at 100 plays. I said, okay, he's only playing defense.
I'd never heard that story, Rocky. That's a riot.
Well, it was the truth. He played over 100 plays maybe 3 or 4 times in 2 years.
Oh, man. It's kind of like saying, well, as soon as his tongue is hanging out of his mouth, we have to give him a break. Something like that.
Well, I knew to keep him on the field. I was smart enough to do that.
Yeah, no doubt.
San Diego State Aztec head football coach Rocky Long. You got any other good Urlacher stories for us?
Well, when I first met him, he was about 6'3" and I don't know, about 200 pounds, maybe 205. When he left there, he was 6'4.5" and almost 250. And they tell me, now I heard this story, I wasn't there, that he was at the combine and his agent told him not to run. Do everything but don't run a 40. And So someone was getting on him. One of the coaches was getting on him about, oh, you're too big time to run a 40. I guess you can't run very fast. And he got mad and borrowed somebody's shoes and went and ran a 4.53 at 252 pounds.
Oh, that's pretty impressive stuff right there, no question. Wow. Hey, let's talk a little bit about football season. When will you guys actually open fall camp?
Players show up, freshmen show up August the 3rd, the veterans the 4th, and we start our first practice on August the 5th.
You guys got a pretty challenging early season schedule by taking a look at it.
Well, I think the whole schedule's pretty challenging.
Well, I would agree once you get into conference, but, you open up Eastern Illinois, Tony Romo's alma mater. You got Ohio State. I'm sure you mentioned you're breaking down film. I'd imagine you're taking a look at the Buckeyes.
Oh, yeah, we broke Eastern Illinois down. I'll tell you, they average over 100 plays a game. They must be the fastest calling plays in the history of the world, and then we play Ohio State, and I broke every one of their films down. And they're not very good. They'll be only ranked number 1 going into the season, and the quarterback will be the leading Heisman Trophy winner. So, I don't know. They're not very good.
Coach, any particular position right now that has a huge question mark over it?
On our team?
Yeah.
Well, I think who our backup running back's going to be, and then we need an offensive tackle, and then we need 2 corners.
I'll see what I can do.
Hey, can you find some for us? That'd be nice of you.
Hey, you're over 50,000 watt airwaves right now. You never know who may be listening.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
Hey, Rocky, how about as far as summer camps? You guys having any camps for high school kids where they can come out and learn a little bit more about football before they start their high school season?
We do. Now, we do some satellite camps. We have one in L.A., we have one in Rancho Cucamonga, and then we have one here on campus. And then we have 2 weekends where we have 7-on-7 tournaments where teams come as teams, and basically all we do is referee and give them, a bracket so that they know who to play, when to play. But we get to see a lot of players when they do, and if anybody wants to come, all they have to do is call the office, and we'll tell them when they are. Well,
the great thing about that is you get a lot of guys on campus that have never, from outside of San Diego, let alone kids from San Diego that maybe haven't been on the San Diego State campus.
And they're pretty impressed when they show up.
I would imagine so. It was interesting. I got a chance to visit with Adam Dingwell last week, and Adam actually went to a San Diego State football camp prior to his senior year in high school.
Yeah, he came out here. We offered him at the end of the camp after we'd watched him play a little bit, throwing the ball around and all that. He was he was a pretty good prospect, and we're glad he's here.
Okay, you got any kind of vacation plans before camp opens up?
He never takes vacation.
Huh?
I might take a 3-day weekend here or there, but that's about all.
Well, you got one coming up this weekend.
That's true, but somebody might be breaking down film on Monday.
Well, your wife might want to do something special. You got to at least take her out to dinner.
Well, I do that quite a bit, but she goes off on her own when she wants to really go on vacation.
Well, she's been a coach's wife for a while.
Yeah, a long time. That's why we're apart so much. That's why we still love each other.
Oh, that's great. Hey, Rocky, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for sharing those stories on Urlacher, and keep breaking down that film.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
All right, Coach. BR, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
There you go, Rocky Long. And, again, I would urge everyone, let's get out and support this Aztec football program. You can get to season tickets by calling this number, 619-283-SDSU, or you can go to goaztecs.com. And let me tell you, BR, the season tickets are the best deal around. 619-283-SDSU, or go to aztecs.com.